Well, it's been a wild week. Bitcoin is down. Everyone is freaking out because someone had a lawsuit and BITF had its earnings. So let's go take a look. Remember, I point out the things that interest me, and I might miss things. I have a long position in BITF at the current time of the creation of this video. You should consult with your own financial advisor and come to your own conclusions. Let's start this off with a little Birdman action up in here. And first thing to point out, 2 exahashes. Let's go take a look at that. So 2 exahashes is about 2 million terahashes, which brings us up to about 600,000 a day and about 11. They did say about 12 Bitcoin a day. So this is about, I mean, if we were to round down, obviously in normal senses, yes, but still, that's not an insignificant amount they're mining. Next point, 10 farms operational in development and 404 megawatts that are currently planned. And this is also backed by some of the tweets that you guys have seen on their official Twitter. Honestly, their advertising firm that they pay $20,000 a month for is finally actually doing something, and that's a good thing. Next line down here, 2,700 or 2,800, depending on how you want to round that thing. But 2,700 Bitcoin held, which equates to about $178 million in Bitcoin value as of November 12th, 2021. Speaking of value for a moment, here, come here. Let's sidestep here for a second. In terms of value, there is something that I have not mentioned that is drastically undervalued. I'm sorry. But that is the big red subscribe button down below, that like button, leave a comment, and sharing this video. Only you can help this channel become priced in. They've also reduced the expensive cost of their mining. Originally, they were paying about $9,000 per Bitcoin mined. This time around, they're paying $6,900 nice per Bitcoin mined. Moving down the slides here, you'll see they have about $43 million in cash, 101 in digital assets, leaving about 144 total liquidity, total cash if they had to liquidate everything. However, you also notice something here. There's also a footnote down here that says time of this recording was around September 30th, so Bitcoin was only about 4,300. So this 101 million in digital assets is actually about 178 million. One other thing that stuck out at me was that I had this question for the longest time, and this has to do with their Yahoo description, where it says it also provides electrician services to commercial and residential customers in Quebec, Canada. And this was actually confirmed in this line over here, where Jeff said, please note that approximately 97% of our revenue and approximately 99% of our gross profits are contributed by aligning with the remainder of Volta Electrique. I'm not French, I can't pronounce that properly, but 100% wholly owned electrical contractor and subsidiary. I'm going to go off script really quickly here because I think this is somewhat important, but Volta Electric is an electric company with electricians providing power out in Bromont, Quebec. Utility companies typically have pretty steady cash flow, and from what I see, they service 5 types of clients. And the first one being commercial, second one being residential, third one being industrial, fourth one being generators, and the fifth one is something interesting, which is terminals for electric cars, which means that they're getting in on the future proof of the EV game, allegedly, right now. But they're making the terminals for them right now. So you would ask at this point, why is Volta bootstrapping BITF? And I think there's an interesting interconnection, so keep this in mind right now. 90% of Volta's revenue is going to BITF currently. Emmy also gave some locational updates, first one being Washington. And thankfully, that's going to be in a rural area, so the chance of noise complaints is going to be very low. Second one is Paraguay, and that's going to be in Asunción, and they're expected to be completed that facility within next month, so around December, so forth, as well, hopefully, not guarantee, start running some of their older machines there before the end of year. As for Argentina, they expect sometime within 2022. In terms of the arms race, that is miners and hash rate, they have about 3,600 in Q4 of 2021 to date, and they have about another 3,000 expected in the last 2 weeks of November upcoming. Looking ahead to 2022, they are looking at 4,800 that they've ordered, and that's about 4,000 a month at about $38.50 per terahash on average. I just wanted to highlight this in the earnings call, where in the summertime when China was trying to curtail Bitcoin mining and anything Bitcoin related in general, but they were able to renegotiate this event because originally they'd be paying somewhere around $80 to $100 per terahash, and because they renegotiated, they now get 38.5 per terahash. And I know there's a meme going on about saying like how these Chinese companies take these ASIC miners and they use it and they send you the refurbs, once they're about, on their way out and so forth. But these machines have an ROI of around 125 days. So after, about 4 months or so, they've basically broken even on the miner, and everything after that is considered profit. And they typically have about a 5-year lifespan. So I don't think that's too much of a worry. And honestly, you guys can do the research yourself. This is somewhat my opinion. This is somewhat of what I found on the lifespan of these miners. Again, you don't have to believe me. This is the Antminer L3. This thing has been out since June of 2017, and this thing is still, people still buy and sell this thing actively. If you stuck with me this long into the video, here's your reward. Remember when I said, why are they using Volta profits to bootstrap Bitfarm? Well, here's your answer. It's cash flow. They have a source of incoming cash to maintain their operations, so they don't have to sell Bitcoin. This isn't exactly how I pictured it, because I originally pictured, why aren't they, acquiring a power company to provide power and any of that stuff. But, essentially they are getting a form of cash flow, which seemingly is sustaining Bitfarm for the most part. Not 100%, but it's a good chunk. And I believe this is important because I also have to mention that they had an at-the-money offering back in August, and honestly, they've only used about 108 million of the 500 million ATM offer that they had. So yes, they still do have $400 million they could use to dilute, but they aren't doing it all at once just to have the cash here and now, which, in my eyes, this slow dilution seems like a good way to kind of tune down the volatility and not really punish us too hard as the shareholders. So to recap my thoughts and opinions, the facilities are coming along nicely. The Washington facility is going to be mining at $4,000 per Bitcoin, and once the Paraguay and Argentina facility come online, they're going to be about 2.2 kilowatts per hour, with possible other ones in the works around globally. They did hire someone new recently to be on their board to handle that, and I believe they have met their target goal of 2 exahashes by end of year 2021. And I believe they're also on their way at the current pace to meet their target of 3 exahashes by Q1 of 2022, and hopefully 8 exahashes by the end of 2022. I'm looking forward to more announcements coming out from them, but I believe that's probably not going to happen until probably either start of or end of Q2 2022, mostly because this year's almost done. But it's going to be either or. I think it's going to be either a new purchase for acquisition of new miners or a new facility. I don't know. I haven't decided which one is probably going to come first. But until then, I think that we just need to remember that just because you're a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every single day.